Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Pompey Eclectic, episode 4. This is our New Year's celebration.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we have with us today a special guest, who is Graham Marsh.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
Long
be
time no
seen.
see.
Nice to see you too.
And this is Simon Eddy.
Yes.
Known as The Cut.
Simon the Cut. And this is Shaolin Phil.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So what are we here today, Simon?
What are we here for? We're going to talk about growing up today. So growing up as
I haven't done that
as
yet.
children. No. Well, when you do, come back.
Maybe next week.
We'll record another podcast. So, interestingly, Graham, who's a long-term friend of ours, mutual friend, grew up in Leicester. So he's going to give a little bit of, we're going to say northern insight, but he'll say Midlands insight.
Midlands.
But we all come from disparate situations, or desperate. Because I don't live in Portsmouth anymore, even though I'm here now. I live overseas.
He does. He lives in
Graham
Vietnam.
Marsh, also known as Swampy, moved here when he was how old?
11.
11 years old to Portsmouth from the Midlands.
Yeah.
Northern. And Simon. Simon is a stalwart veteran of Portsmouth, although he has eloped occasionally to different climes.
Yes, I have. But I definitely grew up here. Yes, all the way through childhood and my teenage years.
So we're quite eclectic, but you're quite Pompey.
I am. I'm very much Portsmouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we thought, because we all have these different kind of situations in our lives. We could perhaps have a different insight into Portsmouth. You know. So I think Marshy is the most interesting because he's got most of his childhood up to 11. He was in Leicester. So what do you remember anything of that time?
On and off. There's bits that you get, and then school and playing and things like that.
Oh yeah. So
But sort of day to day, it sort of fades away in memories.
that's the trouble with childhood, isn't it? Yeah.
But Graham hit Portsmouth like a
Thunderbolt.
Well, like a greased cougar,
Okay.
prepubescent teen, ready to go, looking for women.
Yeah.
That's right. And his accent stirred up the ladies.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Voraciously. And he's also a linchpin in our lives, because without him, we wouldn't have met.
We would never have met, no.
Yeah. And that we could perhaps delve into that as well.
We sound like two ageing lovers.
But I think I should briefly play a little nugget here.
Oh, yes.
Golden nugget.
Yeah,
because,
let's go golden nugget.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, 30 years ago we were sat on Portsdown Hill.
We were.
And Marshy was there. This is the same nuggets I've been playing in the previous podcast. I found one when Marshy joined us. And this is very brief, but this is a little introduction from back in the day. Here we go.
Welcome one and all. With me, as usual, is Mr. Eddy, or Simon Eddy, as he would like to be known. Say something, you shit. No. God, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? No one says anything apart from me. Right, that's it, I'm going to kill myself now.
You won't say bollocks, maybe we can say so.
This is, and also with me, trying to get a word in, is Mr. Graham Marsh. Say hello, Mr. Graham Marsh.
This is the first time I've been on tape since Oz, so g'day mate.
G'day, mate.
Au revoir.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the only snippet I could play from that time on Portsdown Hill that is worth playing.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of drivel and...
It sounds like you'd both just come back from Australia, though.
Yeah, we did. We did. When we were 18, 19,
Yeah.
we went out to Oz.
Yeah.
And,
You stayed there longer than me. But,
I stayed there a few months. You were there like a month or so.
Yeah.
So this occurred after your book that you've just written, Phil.
Yeah, that's
the Book of Mook.
Well, yeah, I've written this book, which kind of, at a certain time in my life, is based on a friend I met who told me these crazy stories. Sort of pseudo college we went to, where I first met Graham Marsh. During that time at college, we had work experience. Course of ITech. We had work experience, and I was trying desperately to find a place to work, and I was put into the post office, and it was rubbish. But then you saved me, because I got a call saying Delarue Systems, where you got a placement, a really good place, a FTSE 100 company even.
That's right.
You suddenly found me a place.
Yeah.
I know you a bit over that time. We talked a bit.
Never really sort of got to know each other that well at that time before then, did we?
But then suddenly I was whisked away to... and there was another guy who was up for that position as well, but you chose me. So thankfully, still didn't say thank you for that, did I? I might have
No,
done.
you probably did. We were
Yeah.
drunk, probably.
But then I went there for the 6 months, and that's where Simon was working.
I was
Yes.
as an apprentice, yeah.
Yeah, so without you, I wouldn't have met him,
No.
and now we wouldn't be sitting here now.
Exactly, all these years later.
Yeah.
Bizarre. But just think you could have met even better people
Yeah.
with more money,
I might have met a nice bird.
better health,
Yeah,
And yeah.
better looking.
that's it.
And look what happened.
Oh, God, why did you do that?
Aging
Marshy?
old buggers.
But I do have to say, I'm quite impressed that Graham's still got all his hair. Cause
Yeah, look at it.
Well,
Might as well go.
the rest of us are
Go on.
struggling.
I do my best.
Yeah.
It's the genes, the Midland genes.
Yeah.
So, Simon, you've lived in Portsmouth
I have.
pretty much all your life. What is your opinion of living here? Because you don't really know other places that well, do you?
Well, I have lived in Russia a bit, and
Oh,
London, and Cambridge a bit, and
That's right.
China for a little while. Yeah, most of my experiences being in Portsmouth, and I've always felt that Portsmouth really looked after me, you know.
But you haven't been to other places in England to live.
It's
Apart
fed
from
and
London.
clothed
London
me.
doesn't count really.
London and Cambridge, but that's all, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Cambridge. So, but Portsmouth, yeah. Well, growing up, I don't know. I kind of like Portsmouth, but ever since going travelling, when we went to Australia, I had itchy feet, and I just wanted to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really appreciate Portsmouth growing up here. For some reason, it was just a place to go, just a place to leave, really. A place to live and leave. I brought my wife back here a few times now, and when I come back with her, I kind of see Portsmouth through her eyes almost, and I find a new appreciation for the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
And I realise actually it's not a bad place. It's a pretty nice city.
I think you get that when you live in a place, you're born and you're raised, you don't see what's around you. You don't appreciate what's around you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like me from when I was in Leicester, when I have gone back every so often, you appreciate what you miss.
Yeah.
Even simple things like a park, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, when you come back here, it's like the first thing I noticed was the smells. You could smell the sea
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
and things like that.
And the seaweed when
yeah.
the tide's out.
That's it. But if you live in here and you don't move away, it just becomes a norm.
Yeah.
They do say you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Yeah.
don't they? So
Yeah, you just take it for granted, don't you? And
that was the lyrics of a song, wasn't it? I think. Joni Mitchell, was it?
yeah, that was
Big Yellow Taxi.
Big Yellow Taxi
Yeah.
by Joni Mitchell.
Good one. But we haven't got a clip of it, so we could sing it. No, we won't.
Big paradise, up a parking lot.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But I think there's smell. You touched on smells, and that's really interesting for me as well. Because coming back to the little Asda in Waterlooville, I walked in there to do some shopping. I haven't been back there for years, and I just smelled this smell, and it's the same smell that I remember from being a kid going there, the Asda's, because it's always been there, that Asda's, and it's like wow, the smell is a weird thing that it's just I don't know what certain smells trigger memories, don't they? And
I do, yeah.
they're more than any other kind of sense in a way. It's a
Yeah.
really distinct thing. So.
Well, I remember we were talking about crisps on one of our episodes, weren't we? And earlier on WhatsApp we were chatting and we were talking about the Smith's Crisp Factory, because we may have got this whole crisps thing wrong.
That brings me to a thing. Well, you carry
Yeah,
on.
well, I was just going to say the reason I mentioned this is because I remembered that there was a Smith's Crisps Factory in Portsmouth,
Oh yeah.
down slightly south of Paulsgrove, where I grew up, and we could often smell the crisps being manufactured. And there was also a bone factory where they used to take, like old horse bones and other bones and sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know what they did with them.
Make
Burn them down, grind them down.
Yeah,
Possibly.
make
That
them
was a
into
horrible smell.
sweets, jellies,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
and the jelly you get on those Fray Bentos pies.
Exactly, yeah. So what was the thing? It was
Well,
your friend Lee has
my
pointed
friend
out
Lee.
we might have got this wrong.
Yeah, he listened to our podcast, and although a little bit of it before he got bored, he was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Chris changing colours? That never happened. He
It
must have
did.
dreamed that." So I was going to, because Marshy's grew up in
Leicester.
Yeah.
not too far from that
No,
area,
Not too far from
Wolverhampton.
Gary Lineker.
My
country.
friend lives from Wolverhampton.
Certainly it's Gary Lineker.
And he was like, "That's rubbish. Old Chris was always that colour. Salt and vinegar was
It's
always green, and salt, cheese and onion was always." I said, "No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't." So I was thinking maybe
Definitely used to be blue. Well, Smith's
yeah.
Crisps
Golden
used to
Wonder
be blue for
was-
salt and vinegar.
was Golden Wonder a different company than Smith's, or was it part of Smith's,
I don't know, it may have been Smith's.
or was it KP Foods? I can't remember.
Could have been KP, yeah.
Possibly.
Or it might have just been Golden Wonder. But anyway, one of those guys down here originally had blue as salt and vinegar. So then Walker's came along, but Walker's from Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Gary Lineker and all that. So maybe they invaded art. They already had that colour already. and
Yeah.
we had different down here. And then they won the crisp war and dominated by their colours. I think that's what happened. We should research this more.
I
Anyone,
think we'll have to.
yeah, or if anyone knows more about this, please comment in the comments.
I think they were one of the early disruptors in business, and which is a phrase we often hear a lot in business schools now. Students are taught that they need to make disruptive strategy
Yeah,
to completely shake up the market,
shake it
where
up,
it's sort of
baby.
become solidified. And I think that probably did that at the time, changing the colour to
Yeah,
green.
it cemented and it pissed
Because
off
it
loads
made
of
you
us.
think when you went to buy the crisps, you had to think, hang on a minute,
Yeah,
what flavour am I buying?
and they didn't.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
company is it?
They didn't take into account beers, and you're not gonna when you just grab crisps when you're drunk and just get the wrong. Come home, you got the wrong flavour. You're like, what's this? Cheese and onion? God damn it!
So while we're on the subject of food, what about growing up then? In terms of food, what was going on with food in the UK when we were growing up?
Oh,
God damn it! Didn't you hear what he said?
Sorry.
Exactly. One of the things that struck me is that we started to get ready meals,
yeah.
which were really over-processed.
Yeah.
And before that, I think usually the mother of the household used to cook a really nice meal from
Yeah.
raw
Well,
ingredients.
It was that fabled invention called the microwave, which kind of caught on when we were young lads, and it came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, you just slap it in there and press the button." They don't think
Yeah.
about the radiation and all that stuff.
But even before that, they started to have curry and rice packets.
Oh
didn't
yeah, boil in the bag.
they? Yeah, boil in the bag, and yeah, you could get ready meals already sort of divisioned,
Yeah,
portioned up.
Yeah.
Even curry wasn't, when I was really young, Indian was there, but it wasn't a big thing like it is now. Like chicken tikka is the national dish.
No,
that's what they say now.
the main thing was always fish and chips.
Fish and chips on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Always.
do you remember, I don't know if we've done it down here, but when
Yeah.
I used to go to the fish and chip shop, newspaper.
Yeah,
newspaper,
definitely. Yeah, and you got something to read while you eat.
And it always tasted better.
Yeah, and you had to wash your hands afterwards because
Yeah.
they were covered in black ink.
That's it. But it was worth it.
Great days.
Oh, yeah.
Did it
Yeah.
taste better in newspaper?
I think it did, personally.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably more of a mind thing, but it's just something that is lost. Because I like the old. I don't mind the normal pale chip paper.
But it's interesting how
But now,
you know, this.
what annoys me now is when you go out and have some fish and chips and they put them in a little cup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to kill someone.
But now we talk a lot about recycling and trying to find clever ways of doing that. But
That's
back
right.
then we used to recycle a lot of
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
like glass bottles,
Yeah.
and you used to get money back on glass bottles.
That's it. Or just
if you
reuse them
return
yourself.
or reuse them yourself. Yeah, because they could be easily cleaned, unlike
Yeah.
plastic.
And the rag and bone man used to come round.
Yeah.
Any old iron and
And
bring out your.
milk flows were electric,
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was it. Milk floats. I miss milk
and the
floats.
chippies used to save up the newspapers to wrap your fish and chips in.
That's it, exactly.
So yeah, and there wasn't any plastic around like there is now. Everything is
That's right.
wrapped in
That's where I
plastic.
think that's where the term comes from. Today's news is tomorrow's fish paper.
Yeah, very
Yes.
true.
Good one.
So yeah, and TV dinners as well. That started to take off. Instead of sitting around the dinner table and all talking to each other, we all started to sit on the sofa and eat on trays, usually on
Yeah.
our laps, didn't we?
Yeah.
Watching TV.
But I remember because my dad worked long hours and my mum worked nights sometimes in stacking showers in Asda's, the same Asda's that I was recently sensed that strange smell. My dad couldn't cook to save his life, but he learned to cook and he became really good. He made the most amazing
he was good at
curries.
curries, wasn't he?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he started out, it was terrible. He invented this thing we used to hate called chegg. It was cheese and egg.
Oh.
And we used to try and hide it. He made us eat this horrible stuff. So in the end, we complained so much. He got some TV dinners in, slapped them in the microwave because Mum had that job. She was working in a nursing home in the day and then stacking showers at night. Bless her, because I think my dad had a busy job and we didn't see a lot of them back then. But Dad was like,
It's an interesting point because in that era, in the 80s, mothers were beginning to go to work, weren't they, after
Yeah.
having kids?
That's
yeah,
it.
And previously they'd been the homemaker, hadn't they? Stay-at-home mums.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my mum. She worked at Fox's Glacier Mint.
oh wow,
Working there, and I think also a brief period at the famous crisp factory.
Oh
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
oh, can
Nice.
you say that?
Yeah.
Did she
did
ever
she
meet
get-
Gary Lineker?
No.
No.
But did she ever bring you crisps home and mints and things?
No.
What?
My dad used to, where he used to work,
Yeah.
A place called Metal Box.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they used to make soft drinks.
Oh.
And they always used to come home with cans that had been damaged and what have you.
Okay.
But
But did it?
still-
Speaking of that, do you remember the milk float used to bring round broken biscuits as well?
Yes.
You could buy
Yeah.
a
I
bag
do
or a
remember
box
those.
of broken
Yeah.
biscuits
Yeah.
on the cheap.
Brilliant.
That's it. And you can still actually buy those now in Iceland.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I know that I used to look like those misshapen Thornton's misshapen chocolates they used to sell in the pound shops, but I can't see those anymore because my wife wanted me to bring some back because she likes those. But, yeah, if anyone knows where they are, if they're still around, please let me know.
So along with TV dinners, we started to have lots of channels on the TV, didn't we? Because previously we only had 4 channels.
Yeah,
I remember.
We started to get
Yeah.
cable TV.
that's right.
I even remember when Channel 4 came along.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember-
82 was it?
Yeah, I can still remember that. Yeah, it was just 3 when I was little, and then number 4 was all exciting. There's a new TV channel.
Yeah.
4 channels. Wow.
I know. And was it Countdown or something? One of the first programs on there.
Oh, I don't know, it might be, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And we had VHS and Betamax, the epic
Yes.
battle.
That's right.
Yeah, we were the beta family. We were the
Yes.
losers.
Were you?
Yeah.
You were as well.
Yeah. It was better quality.
Better quality. I've still got 2
I
Betamax
think
videos.
it came out before VHS, didn't it?
I
I
I think we
honestly
get to the market before VHS.
couldn't remember that, but I always remember it being better quality than what VHS was.
Yeah,
So was it a top loader then, or front loader?
I think you could
Top
get top
one was.
loader, yeah.
I think the
Was
front loader came along later. I think they were all
Yeah.
top loaders at first.
Well, wasn't it VHS was front loader and Beta was
Oh, could be.
Betamax was top loader?
Yeah, it could have been.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I've actually got a Betamax video in my mum's garage still,
Oh, right.
and I've got a few tapes, and that's a top
They
loader.
would be collector's items.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
still works. Oh, I have to look at eBay for that.
So we also used to get a lot of TV programs from the United States as well, didn't we? So along with that family TV dinner era,
Yeah.
sitting on the sofa
On
watching TV,
Yeah, because
especially on Saturday,
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Oh,
Yeah.
when that came along, that changed my life.
Did it?
David Hasselhoff.
I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
ask why.
Pamela. I remember the rest.
Erica Eleniak was another one, wasn't she? I always remember her because one of my friends at school loved her.
Was that the dark hair one?
No, I think she was a blonde as
I
well.
think.
Oh, okay, but
And the 18.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you can't. Everybody loves the 18.
I
That's
saw a
brilliant.
picture of Mr. T recently. He looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
he does. He has
Hasn't
a-
he? And Airwolf, do you remember that?
Yeah, Alf was brilliant.
Street Hawk, what about that?
Yes.
With the
Night-
motorcycle.
Oh, yeah,
Night
motorcycle.
Rider.
Night Rider.
Yeah.
Um,
Alf, you just mentioned that.
Alf.
Alf.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Did I?
I think you did. I thought you did.
Yeah, Alf was another one. That's good.
British shows were good though. I used to watch the wrestling, especially on Saturdays with my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
Giant
Big Daddy.
Haystacks and Big Daddy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Golden era.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get wrestling on now, do you?
No, wasn't that on ITV? Was that ITV or?
No, you think it did have commercials, I think, so,
Yeah.
or advertisements as we called them.
And this was in the days before WWF was all over
Oh,
the TV.
yeah.
And
I wouldn't have even heard of that.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
He was brilliant. He used to smash people with bits of plywood when he was losing. What a legend.
I used to like, in WWF, I used to like The Undertaker.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
scary. Yeah. And of course, old Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Oh, he was very popular, wasn't he?
And was it the Ultimate Warrior?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that was a good
Had all the
show.
makeup on his face.
He was brilliant. Yeah.
Great days.
That's it, really.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
What about, go on, Graham.
all I was going to say is one of the best comedy series is Only Fools and Horses from our
Yes.
sort of period, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that age, and Red Dwarf, of course.
Red Dwarf.
Yeah, because when we were teenagers, it was very popular to watch these comedy shows and then go into school and
Yeah, do the
quote them to each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, Only
and
Fools and
joke
Horses was a big one when I was at school.
Yeah.
I used to do the Del Boy Rodney thing, and
We used to do Red Dwarf and
actually,
Bottom, I think, was started back then, or was it after that?
I was late.
Later,
I was teenage, about 13, I think, when
Was
Bottom
you-
came
I
out.
think
Black
you were
Adam
looking-
mostly. and
Yeah,
Red Dwarf.
Blackadder,
I
young one.
didn't get into Red Dwarf till a bit later because they remember people always talking about it at school, but I never watched it till about seasons. I said the wrong S word. That comes with living overseas. Series 4 or 5, I think, was when I first got into Red Dwarf, and it was great. I remember I never got into Star Trek, but kind of like Star Wars when I was little. Sci-fi stuff. You were more of a Star Trek guy, aren't you?
Yeah,
But-
I like my sci-fi.
What's your favourite Star Trek series? then?
See, that's a
I
tough
mean,
one.
not series, but generation.
Yeah, I think me growing up, it was the Next Generation.
Next generation, yeah.
Yeah.
Trekkie alert.
Yeah, I won't doubt
that was the one with the female doctor, wasn't it?
Yes,
And
Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, and Wesley Crusher and her son.
Yeah, her name.
Riker was his?
Riker. Will Riker.
I wouldn't know this.
Data.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the guy with the
Captain
strip
Picard.
across his head? I remember.
No, that was
Geordie.
Geordie.
I'm sorry.
Get it right.
Oh, great days. I haven't seen anything of Star Trek since then. I haven't watched any of it. No, but I used to be into it then.
What about Doctor Who?
Never really into that, apart from when I was very little.
Do enjoy Doctor Who.
I had I've got a distant relative called Christopher Bewlitz who's written some of the Doctor Who books, spin-off books, and I feel bad because one day I was with my cousins in his house, and he's a brilliant artist as well. These amazing paintings, like science fiction paintings. He wrote all these books, and I kind of made fun of him in front of my cousins to try and be like hard, like, oh, he likes Doctor Who, and he said, I heard that. I felt really bad, and I never apologised to this day, and that's haunted me for years. So it's Christopher Bewlitz, you're hearing this, sorry mate, I didn't mean it. And Doctor Who's actually, I've kind of got into it now a bit more. I've been watching some of the...
Phil's got all these famous people in his family. What about this fellow who's a clown or a magician?
Oh,
Magician.
Magic Kev.
Magic Kev.
Yeah, he's a bit
He's
of a...
quite well known.
Bit of a legend. Yeah, he does really good magic tricks actually. He does stuff for kids, but he does adult shows as well. Not that kind of adult, but you can like do your card tricks and some like quite involved magic tricks. He did some to me, and which like shit, so it blows your mind.
Actually, I have got a bone to pick with Kev while we're on the subject.
With Magic Kev,
Yeah.
Do it live. Let's do it.
Sudoku.
Sudoku.
He got me into Sudoku.
He did.
Yes.
How did you meet him?
Yeah, when we were in Cambridge.
Oh, because he was broken up with his girlfriend at the time.
Yes, right.
He moved in all depressed. That's probably why you moved out.
I can't remember, but yeah, no, he was the one who sort of got me into Sudoku. I can't stop playing it even today.
Wow.
That gets one of these.
Magic Kev in the house.
Magic Kev, well done. Excellent.
That's a bone? He says that's a bone of contention though. So you don't like you get too obsessed by it. Is that what you mean? You're too addicted. It's like
yes, I play it every night.
Every night.
Every night.
All right.
Oh,
On paper or on computer?
On computer, iPads. Yeah.
Save the paper, recycling.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's always the lure of the fact that you can earn money with playing games on computers, but I never have. Have either of you actually earned anything?
Not earned anything. No, I'll play a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But I'm not any good at it.
I did venture into that once. I looked at you can go on your mobile phone and download this app which is Cash for Games or something, and you play these shitty mobile games. I don't like the new wave of games. I'm a story kind of guy, so I like a good story. Yeah. And a lot of these games,
you're a Simon the Sorcerer, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Point and click. And Longest Journey, Myst, all that stuff. I love that. Did you ever play Myst?
No.
Brilliant. And the Bandit, they had these books that went along with the games, and the world building was huge. They invented this whole language, a bit like Tolkien. I'm getting really nerdy now, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, these mobile games, they just put you on this addictive loop.
Yeah.
And you're just doing these mundane things over and over and over. But apparently if you keep doing it, you can get money. After about 10 months of playing, you get about 50p.
I don't think you ever earn anything. I defy anybody listening to put a comment down below saying, I've earned money from playing games.
But yeah, it's all crypto these days. I know I've been talking to 2 people in the last week that are doing crypto, making big money. But I haven't got savings to waste or risk in that.
No,
that's what everyone's doing these days. Is getting into
I've just started investing in crypto.
Oh, 3 now.
Yeah. But not a lot, and just regularly every month. It's not all of the money that I save. I put stuff into premium bonds as well.
I had premium bonds, but I didn't win anything for 20 years. I took it out, spent it.
Yeah. But interestingly, we've segued into my next area of interest in growing up, which is play.
Playing.
So what did we do to play when we were kids?
Yeah. Well, I was quite an active kid until my dad bought me a Spectrum to help with my homework. And obviously I used it for games.
Yeah.
And then I spent most of the rest of my teens
playing Manic Miner.
Jet Set Willy, Saboteur, Sabre Wolf.
But spending an hour loading the game up in the first place.
Oh yeah. Pressing play, waiting for 20 minutes, and then the game crashed.
And there were no mice back then, were there?
No.
No mouse keypads, no...
I didn't even have a joystick for years.
No joysticks
keyboards,
then, were there?
the rubber keys.
Yes. We had to use both hands. Anyone in the younger generations listening in, we had to use both hands on the keypad.
But now PC gamers still use the keypad for certain. W is up, S is down. But But it used to be Q is up, A is down, O is left, P is right. It was 2D.
And there was a game called Elite, which was a classic.
Yes.
And I think, not sure if that was on the Specky in the early days. It was definitely on the IBM
It was on the
compatible PC.
It was on the Commodore 64 for sure. I think it was on the Spectrum.
But it used nearly every key on the keyboard, didn't it?
Yeah.
They were all different. So we used to play it in a team at lunchtimes at my mate's house. So we'd go around there from school. We'd have 3 or 4 of us, and we'd all have certain keys, and we'd have certain responsibilities.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Which was quite good fun.
Yeah, I remember another brilliant game, a bit like Elite, called Mercenary, and that was you got crash landed on this alien planet, and you had to get money to build your spaceship and escape. And there was this big star in the sky. It was one of these early 3D games, and you could actually fly up to this space station, and it was so cool. When you first time you made it, I was like, wow! That was still to this day. I think that's one of my greatest feelings of immersion playing a game. And I've got VR headset as well now.
Yeah,
and that's amazing. Yeah, it was just that elation of making it to that speck in the sky.
And it was simplified. It was simple compared to what it is now as well, I think, on some of the certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, they do spend a lot of time on graphics and music now, and actually back then it was all about gameplay.
I remember, obviously you get your PlayStation, PS Portable games and things like that.
Yeah.
The first sort of one I had like that was just literally Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, like a little...
It was about
little thing.
It was very
with a
popular.
little stick. I had hours of fun on that.
Yeah.
I remember I had one of those Game & Watch things, and those little Deep Frogger, I think it was something like that. I had Spectrum growing up, and then my next door neighbour had a Commodore 64.
Yeah.
And he said, come round and
I had
I'll
a
show you.
64 plus 4.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you're a posh boy.
Which just meant it was a 64. Ouch. But it had 4 extra business tools, which I think was spreadsheets, word processor, and a couple of other things.
How swanky. Well, I wanted a Commodore 64 for years, because I went next door and I played on my mate's one, my next door neighbour, and I had the Spectrum, and he had the Commodore 64, much better graphics, much better music. I was like, I want to get rid of my Spectrum. And in the end, I managed to sell my Spectrum and get a second-hand Commodore 64. It was great. It was a Spectrum. It had something about it, even though they didn't have the same graphical power. The sound was still pretty good on the Spectrum, but there's something about the gameplay, like you say.
Yeah.
It was the games are more addictive somehow.
My cousin was actually one of the first people to write a computer game. He was taken on by one of the big companies, but he sold he wrote this game and sold it independently.
Oh wow! What game was it?
I don't know what game it was.
Damn.
But he was very good at that.
Yeah. I'm not knocking the Commodore 64, by the way. It's still a brilliant machine. I loved it.
Well, I had a ZX81 when they first came out.
Bloody
Which
hell.
means I must have been about 6 years old when we first started playing with a home computer.
I remember another school friend of mine had a BBC Micro, and he had a game called Repton, and it's a bit like Boulder Dash, but you've got to collect the crystals and escape. It was brilliant, and you can make your own levels, and there's this monster. It's like an egg, and if it falls, it cracks, and the monster comes out. And his little sister made this level with all diamonds, and she used to play it and just catch the diamonds. And he put a monster in it, which she didn't know. And there's no way to kill it, so she started playing it, and the monster's chasing her, and she's crying.
What a meanie.
What a meanie.
I think one big difference is from when we were growing up is the freedom we had as a child, being able to go out and just come back when it was dark before you got the clip round the ear.
Yeah.
Now.
Or the slipper.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we used to sneak out, me and my brother, and with some other lads, and we used to go into the woods and camp in the woods at night.
And kill chickens.
No, we didn't. Tempting though, but we stopped doing it because one morning we got attacked. We heard some girl like screaming, "Help me!" And then we went to investigate, and then some guys came over to us and went, "What are you doing?" And they started fighting us, and they all beat us up. And I remember one of them threw my push bike on top of me.
Yeah.
And we all got messed up, and we went to the police, and they said it wasn't a girl, it was the guy screaming like girls or something.
Oh, right.
I've still got the cassette tape of the moment of me getting beaten up.
Yeah.
You want some more? And you hear bang, bang, bang. But I have to play that maybe on a Golden Nugget.
The thing is, there was no mobile phones.
No, that's right.
You know, no one could get hold of you. You were told what time to come in.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't really remember having a watch when I was a kid.
No.
I had a Mickey Mouse watch when I was very young, but I never wore it in public. But,
sensible.
Yeah.
So, but as you said, Graham, it was just get home before dark, or
or get a hiding.
Tea. Yeah.
Nowadays, you're contactable 24/7.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not freedom.
No.
And once we got a bicycle, and we had mates who had bikes
Yeah.
Oh, the world was your oyster.
Yeah, the world
Amazing.
was your oyster.
Yeah.
We used to roam all over Portsmouth,
Yeah.
cycling all over the place for hours and hours on end.
I remember when I was at secondary school, I used to cycle from Camp Lane all the way to Southsea.
Yeah.
Every Sunday I used to take a bit of food with me,
Yeah.
drink, and then just have a cycle around there.
Yeah, we did from Portsgrove. There was one of our trio who was quite a leader sort of fellow, and he used to go cycling off on his own, chasing ahead really fast, and we couldn't keep up with him.
Wow.
But we always found him in the end. But we used to go to Porchester Castle,
Nice.
play down there. We used to go up to the chalk pit, climb up the chalk pits and slide down on our asses and go home covered in chalk, which always got applause from our mother.
I thought it would be more like this.
Yeah, probably. It's interesting that we didn't play football in the streets. I don't think we did anyway, did we, back then?
Well,
In the 70s they did, but I'm sure we didn't do that.
I remember.
Because they started putting these government adverts on the TV, safety adverts.
Yeah.
And we had the Tufty Club, do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Tufties, I remember that.
We got
Yeah.
a badge and it was about road safety and looking both ways before you cross. And they started trying to terrify parents and children with things like road safety.
That was the beginning of the end.
But before that, in the 70s, kids used to be allowed to go and play out in the road with a football.
Well, talking of the road, I used to play this game with my brother and some mates. We used to get this tablecloth and put it on the main road quite late at night, and then sit there and the oncoming traffic. And then the last person to leave was the winner, or the loser if they got hit, obviously.
I knew kids who did that on the motorway.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Yeah.
That was the advanced level motorway, main road, and then later on. Yeah.
Now, we used to play Kirby. I used to play Kirby with my friends.
What's that then? Tell us all about that.
Kirby.
That's a Nintendo character, isn't it?
No. Well, yeah. But basically what it is, you've got your curbs each side of the road.
Yeah.
One person each side, or two, depending on how many you're playing. And the idea is you've got to get the football, bounce it off the curb.
Oh, okay.
And catch it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a goal, is it?
It weren't goals or anything like that. It was just who managed to catch it.
Oh, right.
I used to love it.
We used to play Kinger at school.
King, God, brilliant. On the high beam.
Playground games were into them.
Is that where you went on the high beam, we have to walk across it, and they chuck softballs at you?
Yeah, it's like that. You run around in the playground, there's one ball,
and
whoever is it has to throw the ball at people's ankles, and if you hit someone with the ball, then they become...
Oh, you played it tame then?
I got these days.
Straight to the head.
I got a softball off my forehead once, full contact, bam, and it bounced up, and I didn't feel anything. To this day, I don't know what happened. It was like something saved me, because I heard it crack off my forehead. It sounds softball. It's like they're going to be soft, but they're actually quite hard, aren't they? Like cricket balls.
Yeah.
My sister got hit in the head with a cricket ball once, and she always had double vision after that.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, they're not exactly soft, are they?
And what about British Bulldog? That's another great one.
Oh, yeah, with the rugby ball, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't a ball, was it?
You were just one person, then you had to go along and chase, get somebody, and then they used to go onto your team.
Yeah.
If that's one on.
You started at opposite ends of the playgrounds at the playground in teams. You had to run at each other.
Yeah.
It was kind of like rugby but without a ball.
Oh, right, okay. I kind of vaguely
remember.
remember.
To the other side. Didn't you?
I remember the name.
I think you had to, but it was just as violent as rugby was.
Without a ball.
Yeah.
Because rugby is just basically a fight with the ball, isn't it?
And I think a lot of that now is lost because you're not allowed to do it no more because of health and safety.
Oh, really? They don't let them do it?
No.
That's interesting.
I remember our PE lessons where we had to play in the snow pretty much, play rugby. So cold, I couldn't even do up my shirt, the buttons. My hands were like, afterwards, awful.
Oh, I love the snow.
Oh, I'm glad to be leaving next week it's before it gets too cold. And apparently the cold snap is on the way.
So we're on to school. So what was school like? We've done a few games that we played at school.
Yeah.
I remember that we used to have catering lessons.
Yeah, we did cookery.
In mixed classes, and we used to do sewing as well in mixed classes, and that was quite
Needlework.
new, I think, in the 80s, because it used to be only the girls that did sewing, needlework,
I never done
cooking.
that. Yeah.
Well, they changed the name to catering and got the boys involved.
I don't know if we did we might have done some needlework, mainly cooking.
Yeah, we've done cooking, because I remember we used to having to make like buns and things like that. But I've never done.
I remember making Welsh rarebit, and I think that's the only thing
I think we made
ever
that.
made.
Was it any good though?
It was lovely. Yeah, it was on those old overhead grill cookers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really nice. You couldn't do it now because I don't think the cookers have got a grill, have they?
No, I don't think so.
Not an eye-level one, because you have to watch it to see when it's just browned enough before it burns.
The cheese.
Yeah, and if you undercook it and the eggs all runny and
Yeah, it's quite precision cooking there.
It was precision cooking.
Chef Eddie.
Yes, exactly.
I just remember, because I went to a Catholic school and some of the kids got to go and do road traffic studies and play around on the motorbikes. Because of my class, how it was structured, I had to do RE instead of road traffic studies.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there looking at the Bible like, I should be driving on a little scooter. God damn it.
Well, that's interesting.
God damn it! Didn't you hear what he said?
It's interesting that you mentioned RE, because I didn't go to a religious school, and RE for us was about lots of other religions other than our own British religion.
We had nuns teaching us, so there wasn't much choice.
Well, we learned about Ra, the sun god, and Diwali and all that sort of thing.
Did you have? You didn't go. You just went to a normal school.
Normal comprehensive school. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But everyone wanted to do IT when we selected our GCSEs.
Yeah.
Because we were some of the first kids who studied GCSEs, weren't we? Rather than O-levels, as they used to be called. Yeah, everyone wanted to do IT, so that was massively oversubscribed. And they moved to modular lessons as well, in science.
Modular.
And I think in other subjects as well, the core subjects, which was basically for the thick kids.
Yeah.
Like myself, because I had started in all the top sets and I dropped down to all the second sets.
But you're the brightest of us, the three of us. So
I didn't say that. I ended up in all the modular lessons, which is where they just have modules of study rather than one whole year worth of study.
Yeah, but it
They
helps.
break it down into chunks.
Yeah.
I remember.
And they had multiple choice exams, that started coming in as well.
Well, I remember I was in the second to bottom maths group. I was in like the top English group, but my maths sucked.
Yeah.
And the highest, they told me, the highest I could get was an E.
Oh, I was in
in my GCSEs. So what's the point?
Yeah, I had some of that. That's really strange, isn't it, when they put you in a lower class and say, well, your grade is capped.
Yeah.
Because I had two choices when I did science, and they said you either go for the advanced paper, which means you get a grade C to a grade A, but you can fail.
I should have just. I think.
Or maybe it was.
I think I wasn't allowed to go for the advanced one. Then.
Yeah, but they said to me, or alternatively, you can go for the intermediate one, where the highest mark you could get is a B.
I did the dunce paper, and I failed.
I was dunce on maths and English and science.
I didn't have a great time at school, and I basically decided I wanted to be an architect originally. And the careers advisor said, well, only the best make it to being an architect, which is terrible careers advice for a young person.
Yeah, those careers advice things were bullshit. I don't know what they told me I should be. It was like...
Well, they were using computers as early as then you filled in a questionnaire and then it gave you a computer printout which said...
It told you the rest of your life.
Told you what your best jobs would be.
Yeah.
But one of mine was gardener, landscape gardener. But I've never been into gardening, I can't grow anything.
No, you're like me, everything's a weed.
So I decided to do an apprenticeship instead in electronics.
Okay. And that's how you got into Delarue.
And all I needed to do that, all I needed to get an apprenticeship was 5 grade C's or above.
Oh, wow.
So I aimed intermediate for everything, just enough to get through.
Brilliant.
To get an apprenticeship.
I'm looking at you in a different light now, Simon. I always thought you were like a straight A's, top of your class.
No, I wasn't. The thing is, I'd had a couple of incidents. I had a rather traumatic personal incident in family life when I was around that sort of age, and also I fell off my bike as well and had a concussion injury for a while.
Wow.
And I think after that, because those happened in close succession, and after that my grades went rapidly downhill.
Wow.
And I went down from the top set in all the subjects down to the second set.
So if you weren't gallivanting around with those boys with your bikes,
exactly.
and you were like today, you were reined in with your mobile phone. Where are you? You'd probably be like a top CEO by now.
And I was racing down to the chip shop on my bicycle, and
well, that's
when I fell off on the way to get my chips in newspaper.
Yeah.
And you chipped your head instead.
Yeah, exactly. What about bullying?
Were you bullied, Marshy?
No, I was quite lucky at school.
I remember you told me when you were really little, like a baby, a boulder fell on you. What was that?
It wasn't boulder. Basically what it was, I was in the back garden. Right. There was work being done, and there was this slab. But it was a huge slab compared to what I was.
Yeah.
And it just fell on me.
Right.
Did you? Yeah. Literally, I was covered with this slab.
Yeah.
The whole body, the head, everything.
How high up was it when it fell?
I was only an ear transgressor, so
Wow.
to speak. But my mum come out hearing this bang. She lifts the slab up thinking, oh my God, he's dead or something like that. And I'm just sitting there, laying there, laughing my head off.
Yeah, this is what I always thought about Marshy, because
He's quite resilient, lad.
when I first saw him, he kind of the film when I started at Ports of Vitech and I met Graham Marsh, the film Falling Down had just come out, and it was everywhere, like Michael Douglas, and that's the film where he loses his cool going into McDonald's or whatever it was a McDonald's type place, and wants the breakfast, but they've just finished the breakfast, and then he pulls out a gun. He's like, I want the breakfast, and it all kicks off.
It's like the last straw, isn't it?
And Marshy, with his blonde hair and glasses and high-tech shirt and tie, look, he resembled the same character.
Yes.
And he had this kind of demeanour, like really calm, but at any moment he's going to kick off. So I kind of steered clear of him. Thought, I definitely don't want to go to McDonald's with this guy.
And all this is discussed in Phil's forthcoming book, The Book of Mook.
The Book of Mook. Yes. We'll touch on that more in another pod, maybe. And your books as well, Simon.
Yes, which I should be publishing soon, which is Place, The Complete Works, Poetry, from myself.
Yeah,
and Emily Penbear, which is an existentialist children's story.
Yeah, it's good. Great stuff.
And what's the other one? Do you know what? I can't remember what I called it, but it's an existentialist novella. Can you remember what it was called?
I haven't read that one yet, so no, I don't know the name of it. But I've read the other two books, the Penbear and Poetry.
My memory is terrible.
But yeah, you have to give me a copy of that, because I like to...
Well, I think you've read some of it, but I don't think you finished it.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, last thing, which I wanted to talk about, obviously, sex education.
Oh, Mrs.
And I mean, although we can talk about the other kind, the theoretical side, the academic side of sex education.
Not the practical side.
Not what you got up to around the back of the bike.
Well, we had a teacher called Mr. Parry, and nicknamed Pervy Parry.
Oh, right.
And he was a bit of a pervy with some of the schoolgirls, and he took photos of them like topless or something.
Did you?
No, he got banged away and it banged up in the end. And also my music teacher got jailed as well for fondling kids or something.
Religious school, yeah.
Religious school, exactly. So I wasn't involved in that, thank God. But so I learned quite a bit from Pervy Parry. Maybe that's why I'm a bit...
Was he the sex education teacher?
Yeah,
really?
he's a... But enough about that.
Yeah.
Scandal. Well, for me, sex education started in middle school. I don't know what year they do it now. I think it's much earlier, isn't it?
They're a lot younger nowadays, I think.
What happened was, for the girls, they had the Tempex lady come to visit them to show them their product and talk to them about all these wonderful things that girls need to know about. And for the boys and the girls, we got to watch this sort of cartoon thing.
Oh, you didn't watch the movies? We saw some brilliant movies.
Yeah? Sure, I wasn't at home.
It was his home collection.
But we watched these amazing cartoons with the outline of bunny rabbits getting up to all sorts of antics.
Oh, okay.
And that was supposed to be our sex education.
Oh.
So
And then there was an outline of a man and a woman, and the woman was on her back. The man outline came down towards her from above, hovering above and down on top of her in the missionary position.
that's quite difficult. I tried that.
And that's about all we had in the ways of sex
But
education.
is that why you're attracted to Bugs Bunny when he puts on the dress?
Probably, yeah. And it's I get the horn when I see those chalk outlines after dead bodies have been removed from the pavement. Well, that was a bit macabre, wasn't it?
And what about what about your experience, Marshy, in Midlands?
I don't remember much of it, but it weren't in the Midlands. It was here.
It would be nowadays.
But we had, I think it was Mr. Page. I may be wrong on that, but it always used to be a broom handle and a condom.
How you put a condom on?
Yeah, things like that.
Well,
that's quite useful, potentially.
Yeah. It should be this and the undoing bras as well, with one hand.
Definitely.
I can't even do that now.
It's difficult.
But yeah, the condom on the broom handle, that's
quite useful.
And
the thing is,
nice to know to do it.
We never had any discussion about protection.
Well, I was a Catholic school, so we're not allowed condoms.
No, you wouldn't have been allowed them. No, they've loosened their
every sperm is sacred
now. I think
every sperm is sacred.
Yeah,
every sperm is good.
Exactly. They used to teach the rhythm method, didn't they, the Catholic Church? But I don't know exactly what it is.
I could tell you, but we'll be here a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me later off air.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll look forward to it.
But in a public place, not when we're alone together.
Well, so yeah. Summing up, would you say that your time in childhood in Portsmouth was a good one?
I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest.
You're
I think
far
Portsmouth
happier
was
now?
fine. Yeah, I'm much happier now. I think Portsmouth was fine, but at school there was quite a lot of bullying, quite a lot of alienation.
I got bullied quite a bit.
Not fitting in.
As well, yeah.
The thing you were saying, Phil, about getting chosen last by the captains when it was time to play sports.
Yeah.
I was always the last for some reason, and I was quite good at some sports. I was quite a fast runner.
Yeah.
I was quite good at hitting for six and rounders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember once I was one of the last people called up. I didn't want to bat. The trouble is I was shy. I was really shy. And that's what I wasn't good at sports because I was, didn't have that.
Yeah.
But when I played something like batting,
you didn't have the eye of the tiger that you have now.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I have that now.
When you were batting, what you saying?
Well, it was like equal score, and everyone had a bat apart from me. I always went to the back of the lines, so I wouldn't have to do it. And then the teacher saw me and said, "You haven't had to go. This is the last one."
Oh, right.
And I saw the whole class looking at me, and I raised the bat, and the guy threw the ball, and bang, and I hit it flying, and then I ran round, and the whole school, all my team lifted me up.
Really?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I was like, first time in my life, I was like, good, I did it.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, but usually I was shit.
Let's give him some of that while we're here.
And all the bullies were nice to me. All the kids that usually bullied me were suddenly I was like the cool kid at school for like a day, and then it went back to bullying again.
Yeah. I don't know. We just used to have big brawl-ups when I was in primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the whole school after me once. Because my mate was a little terrorweight. The whole school decided to beat us up. We had like 50 kids on the field come after us.
Yeah.
At least you got some exercise.
That's when I got good at running.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right, well, we've had a good discussion there. But
It was
I think
nice,
we
nice
should.
catch up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Been enjoyable.
I think we should go for our top 10 though. What
Top
do you think?
10 golden threads. Oh well, today we thought. What? What happened here? Did I miss something?
No, it was me.
Okay.
No, I thought you weren't ready, and I was trying to motion to you
I'm getting
to quickly get your top 10 ready.
That's right, it's here.
But you're already
I thought you were bullying me.
No, I wasn't. No,
I had
sorry.
flashbacks from school. Right, well, what are we going to do for a top 10 today? I thought, seeing as we're all from different kind of ecosystems at the moment, I'm Vietnam based. Marshy, you two are Portsmouth based, but you've got a northern accent. I mean, Midlands. You
can call us southern softies if you want.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about slang?
Yes, let's talk about colloquialisms.
Yeah, 10. Let's do a top 10. I've compiled a list
You're
actually.
that word, aren't you?
Colloquialisms.
Yeah.
How long
The
did that take
vernacular.
you to think of?
Vernaculars.
Go on.
Dracula's
I might
vernacular.
have got it wrong actually, but just call it slang, yeah.
Portsmouth actually has its own kind of little language, and I've kind of some of these might be used in other places. These are pretty well known for our age group in Portsmouth. I'm going to start from number 10 upwards because number 1 is the best. So at number 10 we've got knob.
Yes.
You're such a knob. Stop being a knob.
What a knob.
So
The thing is, I'm not entirely sure that is local.
That's probably out of all these, that's the most widespread one.
Yeah.
But I remember it was used a lot when I was a kid at school.
Yes.
Still used a lot now,
Stop
I
being
can
a
assure you.
Yeah, usually if that wasn't enough, you say don't be a bell end.
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
Yeah, you're a knob.
Yeah, it's a euphemism for
Being a knob.
being a knob.
I remember D-I-C-K, Head,
Yeah.
became very popular when Jasper Carrott was on TV.
Yeah,
The comedian Jasper Carrott.
yeah.
And that may have overtaken knob and destroyed the phrase knob.
Yeah.
But
But it's all the same meaning.
Yeah.
yeah, number 9.
Yeah.
I have you're doing my head in.
You're doing my head in.
That's
yeah.
a very Portsmouth
Yeah.
kind of comment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You still do hear a lot of women say that actually about their partners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and
about their kids.
and a lot of teenagers about their mums and dads.
Yeah.
You're doing my head in. I hate you. Yeah. So did you use that one up in Leicester?
No, not really. I
So,
don't think.
but so that was more adopted down
Yeah.
here. Yeah. And did you use knob in Leicester?
I use it.
Would
a
you
lot
like to
now.
rephrase that?
Number 8, we have Stitch Up. Do you know what this one is?
It's a stitch up, mate.
Yeah.
It's a stitch up, Gov.
You stitched me up, or it's a stitch up?
Yeah, I think this came from. We were talking about Nelson and Trafalgar.
Massim's column.
Battle of Trafalgar, and there was a thing that used to happen in the Navy, which was that you slept in your hammock, but you were also buried at sea in your hammock when you died. Because they had nowhere to put the bodies, of course.
Right.
So they would sew you into your hammock. And what they would do, because people in the Navy, sailors used to fake their death to try to escape from the Navy.
Wow.
Because they'd been press ganged, forced into the Navy. And so they used to sew up the hammock, and they used to sew the last part through their nose.
Damn.
To make sure they were dead.
Right.
And I think the phrase stitch up comes from that.
Why didn't they just poke you with a stick?
Well, yeah, they could have done that. Yeah.
Or poke you in the knuts?
I haven't got the energy for it.
Yeah, so Stitch Up, there's a bit of history with that one. Let's move on to number 7.
Go.
Quite an interesting one. There's a term that Portsmouth people refer to their neighbours of Southampton as. Do you know what that is?
Scummer.
Scummer, exactly.
Scummers.
Yeah, and do you know what that stands for, Marshy? I didn't know until Simon told me.
Yeah.
What was it, Simon?
Southampton City Union member.
That's it.
Southampton City Union member. So it's about a quick picket line.
Yeah, some years ago there was some kind of strike at the dockyard.
That's right.
And the Southampton members crossed the picket line and went to work.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So they were from then onwards known as
Scummers.
Southampton City Union members were known as Scummers.
And they got a reference, they got a return remark
They have.
back to us, which is...
They call us in Portsmouth skates.
Is that because we're good at ice skating?
No, it's far worse. I'm not sure I can say it live on a podcast.
You have to, come on.
Well, apparently... this is terrible.
You can't bury yourself.
Apparently sailors, obviously they were away at sea for a very long time and found it difficult to relieve themselves.
Right.
So, I don't mean weeing, I mean...
Number 3.
Yeah, and number 3. And so they used to nail a skate, the fish, to the mast.
Oh, and pork it.
Yeah, basically.
Fish it.
So it is said.
Fillet it.
Yeah, and that is why we are called by Southampton skates.
I've never made love to any kind of haddock.
No, I haven't.
Unless it be known.
Don't they have teeth?
Oh,
I don't know. Anyway, let's
is
not
that
go.
good? Is that good
Quick,
or not?
move on.
Yes, move on.
Okay, well, let's go to number 6.
Get arrested.
Geese.
Geese.
Yeah.
Short for
Right,
geezer.
geese.
Geezer.
How's it going, geese?
Does it come from the spring of water? The hot springs?
I don't think it.
Geezer.
We were thinking
That's
about this. We were talking about this, weren't we? Because we did our little Portsmouth Origins, Portsmouth history bit.
Yeah, go back and check out pod 1 and 3.
Yes,
and next one as well.
And 4, no, and 5, and
6.
I don't know. Anyway.
5.
And
next one, anyway.
we discovered there was a fella called Jean de Geezer.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Who was considered to be one of the founders, or the main founder of Portsmouth City. So we have this hunch, and we don't know if it's true, so put something in the comments if you do know.
Yes, please. We want some comments.
This phrase geese has come from John de Geezer.
There you go.
There's his name.
So he was a real
proper geezer.
Proper geezer.
We could be wrong, of course, but that's what we think.
Okay, we're now into our top 5.
Yes.
Larry.
Yeah.
You getting Larry, mate?
Getting Larry? You don't even say yeah. You say
You
getting
said
Larry.
No, I'm not.
Just like,
I'm
getting
not.
Larry?
No, I'm not. Well, you want some? You want some and all? But that was usually...
If you look up the definition, a Larry means looking across your cheek, back across your cheek at someone.
Oh, really?
Yes, but so it is actually a word. But back then we used to use it in general terms as someone trying to start a fight.
Yeah. Oh,
Basically, if you say something a bit out of turn to someone else, something a bit antagonistic, and the response would invariably be getting Larry,
but,
and the next move was a punch.
That's very interesting. So Simon is a fountain of knowledge, a geezer of knowledge.
Yeah.
Number 4. Now this is a more modern one. You know, in America they start saying bro. We decided to adopt cuz.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite widespread again, but we say it a lot here, like nowadays.
I don't really say that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't work with your vernacular.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Tom Spiller, who's a massive Portsmouth fan, and he always says "cuz" all the time. How's it going, cuz? Yeah. Right, absolutely right, cuz.
Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of things that our kid, like I always says.
You're right, our kid.
but it's our version of that. It's our version of that. Number 3, Get Out Now. Get Out Now.
You sounded like somebody from EastEnders then.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be Paulsgrove.
And
I can't do the dialect.
I could do it. Here we go. The correct pronunciation is Get Out Now. That was perfect.
Applause.
Well done, yeah.
That was a kiss. And it doesn't even sound like a kiss. The button says
a
kiss.
Glaswegian kiss.
But interestingly, I was going to join 2 of these together because I think they're quite good. And you'll hear a lot of Portsmouth women say this about their kids.
Yeah.
You're doing my head in, get out now.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Or you're doing my head in, get out now, Dinlo.
It's a bit kind of Bath, Devon-ish.
It is a bit, yeah.
With a bit of Paulsgrove venom.
Venom, that's the word for it.
It's good.
Or
It's good.
warspite. Warspite, as we prefer to call it.
Are you from Paulsgrove?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you're so good at it. See, I can't do the dialect. Get out now.
Yeah, I grew up in Paulsgrove till I was about 13 and I moved to Lee Park.
God. Lee Park, that's Marshy's.
Where I'm on
Yeah, Marshy's the king of Lee Park.
You're from Waterlooville, don't you know? Born and bred. Yes.
Okay. All right, darling.
Right.
I went to the pub the other day for the pool to play in the pool team.
Yeah.
And it was an away match, and they were getting leery. I'm not going to say which pub it was, but it was like a party atmosphere. It was like a disco going on. They're all dancing, waving arms about, getting leery.
No, what knobs?
Trying to antagonise.
What bunch of knobs?
As soon as I walked up to the door, before I even got in the doorway, this kid came out. He was on the pool team. And he said, "Oi, Porchy boy," referring, of course, for our listeners to Porchester.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah.
What a squinny. Is he getting leery?
What a squin?
Yeah, squinny.
Like our top 2 now. These are the creme de la creme of Portsmouth slang.
They are.
They're both kind of insults again, but you know. Number 2, Dinlo.
Yes.
Now this was one used a lot when I was at school, and when you were in the second to bottom maths class, or bottom I think I was, you got called the Dinlos. Yeah. It means you're not that
stupid.
You're a bit stupid.
Yeah.
But it also was the council. You adopted this as part of their slogan.
Yeah, they did.
And I don't know how they got away with it, but
they were trying to be sort of quite clever and local, and they started putting signs on the bins that said, "Don't be a din, put it in the bin."
Yeah.
It was quite clever thinking, I suppose, to use the local language.
Yeah, but it's good because this is kind of unoffensive slang. A lot of slang is you can't say nowadays.
No,
it's because the woke brigade say, "Oh, you're too white," but
you will find yourself cancelled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can get away with Dinlo, and you can get away with Scummer. Maybe. Not in Southampton though.
No,
you can say it to them, but not while you're there. That's what I meant. Yeah. And especially number 1, our top slang.
Yes. What is it?
Squinny.
Squinny.
Yes, there's plenty of those around.
Yeah.
It's a great word.
Yeah. Usually, if you started crying as a kid, you'd be called a squinny.
Oh, definitely.
Wouldn't you? Or a squin.
Yeah.
And I think this goes back to like the sailor, the naval history of Portsmouth, and trying to toughen people up. And you had to be tough, I think, back then. The sailors. A lot of sailors in the city, and it was all kind of hard man sort of socialisation.
Yeah, don't hang about the docks, especially if you're a squinny.
Yeah, but I don't know where the actual word squinny comes from.
No.
Yeah, maybe someone knows. Please put in the comments if you know the origins of squinny. Okay.
And if you are one, don't squinny.
Well done.
Yes, exactly. Top 10. We're coming to the end of another podcast, I think.
We've overrun again.
We can have a quick sum up of...
yes.
Do you want to do the summing up, Simon?
Yeah, I'll do my best, yeah. So what did we... Well, it's New Year's today. It's New Year's Eve, is it?
It's now 2025.
Yeah, or soon to be. I'm not sure, because we're actually recording this in...
If you're watching this,
November.
when we upload it, it will just be just before the day before.
Exactly. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year all you. Have a great 2025.
That's the most important thing to say.
Yeah, stay positive, you know.
And we talked about growing up, basically, didn't we? Growing up in Portsmouth. A little bit about Leicester, growing up in Leicester.
Yeah, because I don't see these guys much. And once a year, maybe, we get together.
Well, so, you were a dissident in being there.
Yeah, I've gone over...
In a communist state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might be watching.
They might be. They probably are, yeah.
Especially now, this will broadcast this. You can get this on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, you're done for.
So if I'm not in the next podcast, you know why.
Yeah. Anyway, we'd better go because I've got to have a really good cough.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've got to have a really good squinny.
Yeah.
And I've just got to act like a Dinlo.
Yeah. Well, nothing's changed there.
No.
So, from me, Phil Wyatt, and from him.
And from me, Simon.
And our special guest
Time of the cup.
From me to you,
Graham Marsh.
Yeah, Marshy.
Marshy,
Swamp Meister.
the legend of the Swampy.
Yeah.
See you again. Thanks for watching and listening, whatever your oral pleasure or audio pleasure.
Yeah, don't forget videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
and audio.
Follow and
else.
like and subscribe.
Except iTunes, but I'm not going to say what we think of them.
No, they're lovely if they let our podcast go on it.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year.